So it's the homework assignment for week 5 was to work on a one-page article uh, going over a topic of your choice within Web3, right? It could be absolutely anything, and we kind of used that same document and worked through it to slowly try and get it to be a little more into a research project. So I wouldn't really call it a research paper necessarily, but the idea is that it's a research project. You put together your kind of your purpose, your topic. You kind of add your near account, so you have attribution to the artist. You link out different areas where you got your information, so that other people that read this are hopefully, or look at this project, are able to maybe dig in for themselves. And then after, you have your sources at the end, and after you feel comfortable, so I'll be working back and forth with students as well in the comments. But once students feel comfortable with it, it'll be minted as an NFT on Mintbase and listed for sale for the Research Collective DAO to then collect, as a way to kind of showcase how students can work on research projects, publish their research in public, and then get that research collected and get like some sort of incentive for that. So if students are here on the class, or I know a lot of people are either students in real life, so they're going through exams right now, and so maybe a bit behind on the course, or they have just real life things they're doing. I know some of our students are doing Shi-Fi courses or other Web3 education courses in ecosystem. But after the course is done, so after next week, there will be a 4-week additional period onto the end of the class. So I can go through the syllabus again. It's in the syllabus for those that want to kind of look through it. A 10-week class, and then a 4-week additional period for students to continue working on their assignments. So no rush. If anyone's behind, no worries. There's still lots of time to work on your assignments. Okay, so now we got a little bit more of the clerical stuff out of the way. At the bottom of this page, I kind of in the Near Research Collective channel on Telegram, in the Near Certified Researcher thread, I posted the website here for marmaja.org/NCR, a great page to get all the information about the course. Currently, we are in Module 3, and we are on Class 9, Blockchain and Gaming. And so the idea here is to talk about, this whole module has been going through various aspects, like specialized topics. So we're talking about governance, decentralized finance, DeFi, NFTs as well. And in my opinion, gaming is one of my favorite topics in blockchain, because it kind of encompasses all 3 of these and other aspects as well. But I think you at least usually get the 3 of these aspects, and we'll go through one game quickly that kind of showcases this in action. So here is the lesson plan. I'm going to share this link with students for those that might want to follow along. And that's helpful for some people. Hopefully my audio this week is a little better than last week's. But for this week, I'm the lead facilitator. We have our co-facilitators, Nedlar and BGEM, who have been with us since the beginning of this cohort, and very much appreciative of their support. As I've already said, we have Jeff Gold again coming in, who was here a few weeks ago for the AI class, again, to talk about gaming. And in this class, hopefully, students will have an understanding of the fundamental concepts of blockchain gaming. In my opinion, we've seen over the years, since CryptoKitties and Axie Infinity, to Dark Forest, and now the crazy stuff we see now. There's been a lot of advancements in what's been possible with games that are built using blockchain technology. We're going to go through the fundamentals. We're a little about how these different pieces, these different fundamentals are integrated in blockchain games. So like I said, NFTs, governance, DeFi, how does that all come together in games? And how does that change how games are impacting the industry? And then we'll look at a real world case study, a couple of them. So yes, we have the pre-reading material from the rest of the courses. If anyone comes into this course late, please make sure to go back and try and at least go through the homework throughout the class. You can kind of just quickly go through it. There is some additional reading. I won't go much through all of them. This article here is actually a bit old. It's from 2022, but I think it gives a pretty good overview of what the Near Foundation at least thought was going to happen with the Near ecosystem in gaming. For us, only a couple of years ago, but in the blockchain space, that's, could be quite a while. So for example, some of these projects that are talked about in the article aren't necessarily doing much or aren't building on Near. Some of them are, right? So Play Ember is still building on Near, and I think still has lots of players, on DApp Radar, still active on dashboards. There's community groups that were distributing funding that are, again, no longer active potentially. But then again, the gaming DAO is kind of what spun out of the human guild that existed before in some respects. I think a lot of the community is the same. Some of the council members are the same. And so this, in my opinion, gives a look back to the history. And I think gives an idea of what students' research papers now could end up being, right? You write an opinion piece, you do a survey about what's available, you publish that, and in a couple of years, people can look back on that and see, okay, maybe some of this isn't necessarily up to date anymore, but it does show a snapshot of what was happening at that time. So again, I don't know if there's sorry, I know accidentally hit the mute button, no worries at all. So again, I'm not going to go through the article, so I will drop it here. I do think it's a very casual read. It's not very long, like 10 minutes that you'll get through it. So I'll go through the articles, then I'll go through Marmaja Gaming a bit more. So this article, I already shared it during the NFT class. I kind of just put it here again. Some people might just not find the NFT class and only find this one. But again, just talking about, I don't actually think we see this very much in blockchain games yet, but I do think it's something that we will probably see more often. And so the idea of not just having the NFT be the game item, but also have some sort of special use case to that NFT. So for example, you can imagine like the Fortnite Travis Scott concert, I think it was. I can't remember if that's the artist that did it. I'm not very up to date on these things, but basically certain people who played Fortnite, I'm pretty sure, were able to go into the game and watch a special concert. And not everyone was able to attend because it would have overloaded the servers. So you had to have some way of selecting who was in and who wasn't. So blockchain could be a good use case for this. You could easily, attribute this value to a certain account. That value could actually be tradable on your game's exchange. You could have trading fees on those trades, so now your game is actually, if there's like bots trying to get extra tokens and sell them, at least the game's earning back some of that, and they can kind of have that tax go back to supporting the gamers. But anyways, this could be a way of just adding that extra value. Okay, you get a ticket for a week to access this venue, or you buy a video game early, so you get a special skin. But that skin comes with downloadable content that you can use for screensavers, or maybe VR avatars online, or whatever else. Right? There could be this special access, and again, this access can only be for your account. There could be, in this article, we talk about it already, so I don't want to go through it too much, but there could be like licenses available attached to these NFTs, to these digital assets, which could then limit the value, limit the usage to maybe to the account that purchased it. So again, I think it's a pretty, if students didn't read it yet, or at least skim the research paper yet, I think it would be a good idea. The next two papers go over a game called Axie Infinity. I guess probably still the largest blockchain game, probably. Millions of players. So these are both actual research papers, and I think it's pretty interesting how you can get actual research papers. Like, this is someone's bachelor's thesis, and I think this one had multiple authors. Yeah. Talking about a blockchain game, and because it has aspects of governance, NFTs, finance, I think that's why these games are perfect for research and academia, whereas potentially other games might not meet that criteria. Um, Again, don't want to go too much into these papers. Neither of them are extremely long. So a bachelor's thesis, I think it's less than 50. I mean, so yeah, less than 50 pages, so 30 pages. And a lot of it's graphs and findings, and you can kind of just skim through the titles and look at the graphs and probably get a pretty good idea of some of the information. Um, but high level is that it's really popular game where people all around the world were able to very quickly earn a monthly wage from playing the game that was higher than the minimum, much higher than the minimum wage in their local areas. So the game, for example, was heavily popular in the Philippines. I actually had a couple of Axie scholars, and actually one of them is still engaged in the near ecosystem, actually, engaging there for bounties. But what happened was people would buy these NFTs. They would basically loan the value of the NFT, or they would loan the usage of the NFT out to other people in other parts of the world. You can call that extortion. You can call that, good business, whatever you'd like. But the point was that we understand the crypto ecosystem is quite volatile. There's some charts here talking about, the value of the SLP was the token in the game, and you can see the value, how much it changed that people were earning in the game. So you can imagine here in the ecosystem, maybe a lot, there was millions of people earning hundreds of dollars a month. Well, maybe not millions, but a lot, millions of players, hundreds of thousands of people earning, dozens to $100, hundreds of dollars a month, which was larger than a monthly salary. And you can imagine that could actually disrupt entire communities. You can imagine that a community that might have had people that were very eager and willing to go support their fellow neighbor just because they had the time to, and they would actually benefit their ecosystem. Now, if you had like 10 to 20% of a certain community playing this game on their phone, not being there was very positive aspects potentially, right, to communities coming together and playing games. But the idea is there's multiple sides to the story, right? There's the positive side where millions of dollars of value was able to be transferred to people that might have never had that opportunity. And there's the adverse side where, okay, well, people might have changed their livelihoods and made lifelong choices because of the game in this period of time, but then in this period of time may have not had enough time to recover. So if you have entire communities making those decisions, what responsibility then does again, this would be much larger questions, right? But what responsibility then that would the game have to these communities that were disrupted for years to come if Axie is still doing well and still is deriving value from what those players did and what they. So yeah, very interesting articles. I would suggest you read them. Talk about that for hours, and we don't have enough time. But a game that we do have a little bit of time to go through, and the homework for today. So I don't want anyone to say they couldn't find homework specifically, so I will drop this into the homework and assignments thread so it links directly to it. But pretty much you're going to get on PD, so Pixel Dapps. Basically, the Marma J Foundation took over this game from a previous team who kind of just left the near ecosystem. .org/Crypto Heroes. So Crypto Heroes is one of the games the Marma J Foundation took over. It should open you up directly to the game, right? So there's no additional issues, but if you'd like to actually see a little more information about what's happening, I will drop the link in the homework thread as well. So this is a bit more information about Crypto Heroes. You can see Pixel Dapps on top. This is the previous team created this. And if for example, you go to marmaj.org/gaming, you will see the Marma J Foundation's page, which just has some simple information to make it a one-pager about the games and what the plan is for the games. So Crypto Heroes, there's ways to arguably earn the token in the game. So again, talking about tokens and DeFi, they are You get items, you get PvE loot, and you can trade these loot items, and you can forge these items by combining them together. So that would be an aspect of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, although they do not adhere to the NFT standard. So again, if you remember back from the NFT class, we talked about the non-fungible token standard. Technically, something can be a non-fungible token without adhering to the non-fungible token standard. It just means that it doesn't have all the functions that are defined and outlined in that standard. But by definition, it would still be non-fungible, end of post. So if anyone's curious. But anyways, this is for those that have information. There's a wiki as well. But let's just jump into it. I will log out because there is a very weird login flow to the games. There's a double login flow. It is a bug, I suppose. Yeah, something was fixed from the previous team. It was halfway fixed though. But anyway, if you log in with your wallet, there's only two options. Sorry about that. Miner Wallet and Meteor Wallet. The team is working to add more wallets in the future. But you can make a new account on Meteor Wallet quite quickly, send it a few tokens to test, and that would actually be very good practice for many of you, in my opinion, because it's always good practice to, when you're trying on a new application you haven't heard of before, essentially make a new account and then test it out before maybe trying it with your main account. But I'm going to log in with my Meteor Wallet. It is going to redirect to the wallet like usual. I'm going to type in my password, choose my account, and log in. It will then redirect to the game, but then say log in again, is generally the process. If you're on Meteor Wallet, you might have actually this is quite a long waiting screen as well. Maybe the RPC network is overloaded, not sure. Good. And I might have to do it from the game again at this point. See? Maybe I'll try my new browser. I mean, there's many videos of this, and I can just share that later, or we can try at the end of class. Might be more useful. But let's try one thing. Okay, I'll do it at the end of class, or I'll send over a video. Interesting though. Okay, well, for those that are in the class, I'll try one more time, but feel free to try it yourselves. Shouldn't have as much issues as I'm having. Maybe we'll go through setting up a new wallet. NRC, NCR, week 9. Okay, so this is what we have to do when things break on the fly. Why does it want? It doesn't believe me. Yeah, it does seem like RPC is overloaded. So, like, this will create, but let's try a different wallet. Let's see if Hot's using it. I think Hot has their own. Here Wallet has their own RPC.
I think you need a gas fee to enter.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm on my mobile device trying to use my Near Wallet still, and it seems like it won't load either. Also, Near Social wasn't loading today, and Here Wallet also seems like it's not refreshing. So I'm assuming, my assumption, and I guess I could see it, is an actual header here, but maybe not. Either way, I'm not able to get This seems like it's working great though. So wonder what they're using. Anyways, your wallet, Miner wallet, both not working. Meteor wallet though did work. Haha. Okay, we'll move on. But I do find that interesting. Okay, so I'll stop there for now. I will just use this time at the end of class to go through this, and I'll try and just get this to work. Let's see. Okay, maybe in your socials back. Looks like it's back. Awesome. We should be good. Okay, so without further ado, if you're ready to take the lead, Jeff, we'll hand over the reins to you. You can kind of go over what you have to share about gaming and Near. I know you have probably some unique insights from being on the Gaming DAO Council.
Good morning. Thank you. Hope everyone's doing well. I don't have much for visuals prepared, so it'll be a bunch of me talking. So for those who don't know you, I'm Jeff Gold, co-founder of Near Hub, Tamago, posted on the Gaming DAO, was on the Human Guild, in the Near ecosystem for 3-4 years now. 3 years, 3.5, I don't know. Like Koloe was saying, a year or two in crypto feels like forever. Prior to about 5 years ago, my life consisted of touring DJing. Prior to that, the coding experience I had was Microsoft DOS. So it was kind of a while. And then during COVID, kind of realized code ruled the world, and I was illiterate, so set out to fix that. So gaming and Near, gaming and blockchain. Start there. Why would someone want to put blockchain in gaming? For me, the main thing is, many main things. Long term, it's more efficient to run. There is storage costs for transactions, but those may or may not be offloaded to the user. And as well, it's a one-time fee as opposed to cloud storage, where as your game grows every month, your bill just gets exponentially bigger. Kind of a monthly bill as opposed to a one-time one. And then as well, the interoperability, the decentralization, people can control owning their assets. I'm sure everyone in this call is familiar with all the decentralization benefits. For me, for Near, some of the benefits for that was, just initially ease of use for the user, and then the speed and cost were huge factors when kind of looking at doing something. Just because to do a game, having a point and then have to wait 12 minutes for a confirmation, it kind of kills the flow of the game. Whereas with Near, it's basically kind of instant results, or a second or so, and it's listed on the chain. The indexer might not get it right away, but it's there. So it just felt better. It's easier to use, it's easier to code with, it's easier to integrate into an existing game. Currently, there's a new Unity SDK that's being made, and that's being made by someone that was working with Unity directly, and it's going to be integrated with into the source code level of Unity. So it'll be a direct one that'll work with desktop and the WebGL versions, whereas previously all the SDKs were just the web version. So that's awesome, exciting. For getting started with gaming, like some of the different ways to integrate blockchain into games. Of course, there's the NFTs, kind of for assets, traits, that kind of thing. Can do fungible tokens, like in-game assets, like if they're harvesting wheat, they can just have wheat tokens or something that you could mint for them. And it's good too because it goes directly in their wallet, it's interchangeable, they can trade them, they can create an economy outside of the game as well, and it all just kind of stimulates within the game. And then as well, can also just do it where the easiest way to integrate it is essentially just make it where instead of writing points to a database, you're writing it on chain. And it's like instead of using SLQ or a Mongo database or whatever you have been doing or an array, just point it to the chain and tell it to look for it there. That's kind of the thing that really impressed me with Near, is that it really is almost that simple. Like, I am simplifying extensively, but it's really just kind of changing where you store and look for the information. Other than that, you can continue building the game exactly as you were. So the gaming DAO, what we are is a grassroots DAO with the NDC, and our mission is essentially to support games and the community for gaming on Near. We've been doing that by funding some different projects, running some different kind of campaigns to get people into the ecosystem, get them playing the games, and then kind of brought in the SDK to get made, different things like that. But we basically, our goal is to get more games and more transactions on Near, and basically here to support people however they choose to go about it, or however possible we can. Not all the projects have been able to get approved so far, but we do want to get them all approved, just we have a limited budget so far. But if there is someone that hasn't been approved, please stay motivated and try again. And yeah, we'll try and get them in future months. But does anyone have any questions before I ramble on too long?
Yeah, I mean, so far, I think a pretty good overview. I also don't know how far you're going to get to. But one question I do have and you can answer it if you already have it in your presentation later. But some of the maybe key aspects of games that have been approved, or like what key, aspects of these games as a council member might you be looking at to really think that it's maybe viable to be built on chain or built on Near? But yeah, that'd be my question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah, there's a few different council members on there. We all have slightly different perspectives, but the same overall vision. For myself, I generally look for, one of the requirements is an MVP so that we can see something. They've been in the ecosystem for a little bit. The game is playable and fun. And that they have the community and technical ability to pull it off, or if they don't, if they let us know the parts that they need help with, and we can help find that for them. But yeah, it's generally kind of combination on technical abilities and a community and preference to people that have been in the Near ecosystem longer, but not exclusive to that.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, like the mission of the gaming DAO is essentially, to increase the KPIs, basically number of developers, growing active audience, and enhancing the community. And then we're going to be doing some hackathons, game jams, different kind of link drop, airdrop giveaways, and then different promotions, like as we kind of launch new games or as they kind of finish their milestones, help giving them a push and everything, help projects get exposure. I think there's been, double check, well, last month I think there was 13 projects that we supported. It's been about 20 or 30, I think, since inception. I'll have to double check exact numbers, but it's been 5 to 7 a month. And then generally, it's kind of been ranging from a couple to maybe 20,000 spread over a couple months, depending on the project and what their goals and needs are. And it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. But yeah. Any other questions? Sorry, I didn't have enough coffee this morning.
Please, I have a question.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Go ahead with your question, Kwame. You're muted at the moment, so I'm not sure if that's accidental.
So,
I think we have.
I was saying that if we look at the games we have on our phones, the one we can play from our phones without even access to internet, they tend to have a very nice interface and a bit nicer gameplay, very fast. Everything is just on point. But when you come to blockchain games, I understand because they are at their developmental stage, there is obviously going to be this one or two challenges. Now, my question is, how far are we from getting to the point where everything will just move smoothly, just be on point, interface, graphics, and everything? How far are we, and what do we need to do to get to that point?
Sorry, the call cut out on the question part. It was in and out a little bit. Could you repeat the question? I got the how far are we, and then it kind of went choppy.
I mean, I'll try and, if I get it wrong, Kwame, you can let me know. I think the question was kind of saying that maybe some parts of the world don't have like the fastest internet, and some like Web 2 games still work smoothly and have good graphics. So potentially, how far are we away from having that with Web 3 or blockchain-based games? But Kwame, if I'm incorrect with that question, please correct me. Don't want to.
It's perfectly right.
Perfect. Not far and far. It's a terrible answer, but like the technology, it's possible to have a seamless experience, like between like transaction abstraction, integrating some of this stuff. Basically just can integrate most of the functionality behind the scenes and like have the user just put in, as an example, prepay a near of storage when they sign up, or they buy an NFT and a near goes to cover their storage. And then in the background, every time they click, it writes it on chain and doesn't have to ask them for permission. Like, so at the user level, there doesn't have to be any difference. Like, or it could work out something where it doesn't have to put a near storage, you can figure out something, but it can be abstracted away. That being said, it's not incredibly simplified yet how to do that smoothly. So that's kind of why it was yes and no. Like, it can be done now, but it is difficult for it to be common.
Okay, so please, at the moment, can I conclude
Yeah, but
that
yeah.
blockchain.
Yeah, it seems like you're having some connectivity issues, Kwame, so it might be best to type out your questions in the chat. But great question, and thank you for the response, Jeff. There's also two more questions in the chat, so maybe we can move on to those. And Kwame, if you can type yours out, and then Jeff could hopefully get to that one after.
Just a quick thing with the end of that one while I remember. I don't think it's going to take as long as I would have thought a year or two ago. Just with the assistance of AI, a lot of things that have been troubling people are going to come a lot faster, and people are going to be coming out with toolkits quicker. So I think it's going to be simplified relatively soon. But yeah, next question.
Okay, so Michelina was asking, what challenges do developers face when creating games on Near Protocol? So maybe just some of the largest challenges you've experienced, maybe as a council member or building maybe like Near Hub or your own projects on Near.
Great question. Yeah, well, I think it's been there's been a bit of a, because there's kind of like game developers and then blockchain developers, and then we're working on the kind of crossover. So there's been a lot of game developers that are coming to build on Near that it takes them a little bit to kind of wrap their head around how blockchain works and how to get everything initially set up. Once they get kind of the aha moment and it clicks, everything's great. And kind of the same in reverse, where a lot of people that are great with blockchain, there's a lot that goes into building a game that goes beyond blockchain, and same in reverse too. But like, there's a lot of little elements that when people see a game, they don't really see that it's there. But there's like little minuscule things that takes a week to get it right to make the motion look good. But it seems like, oh, it's just that, you know. So there's kind of a bit of the combination of merging the two, and there hasn't been much for SDKs for game engines. So that's kind of part of the reason why a lot of the games have kind of been seeming more basic, is because everything's being built from scratch. It's kind of like, yeah, so it kind of limits the amount of people that can develop on it that need to know that lower level of coding. Does that answer? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it answers the question. I've actually experienced this quite closely. I mean, we onboarded a game dev to Marmaduke Gaming, and I think that's been by far the hardest part, is just wrapping, for the developer at least, wrapping their head around the blockchain aspects. As like myself, as someone who's been in blockchain for a long time, those are the easy parts. And so it's always quite interesting where like fixing Unity code or like even fixing different bugs in games for me is quite difficult. But it's interesting how the blockchain parts specifically can be quite challenging. So I think that's also interesting to hear for researchers here who might not be as technical when it comes to building blockchain games or like coding them, but might have a good blockchain understanding, and they could use that understanding to help, you know, blockchain gaming projects, maybe specifically where it's kind of it's common where you'll have game developers and front-end developers and marketers, but you might not have someone who just understands how blockchains work and you know how like other blockchain games might be built. So thank you for that, Jeff. The next question from Will.
How do
you were adding to that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, can do more identity protection. Things are traceable, but to avoid cheating, there's not, like, gas can be a bit of a deterrent. It's not as much fun to bought out something.
Okay, so 1 second. I'm going to repeat the question just for the recording for those that may be listening back.
Sorry.
So yeah, no worries. It is. I play online games a lot, and I've noticed people get away with cheating most of the time. How do blockchain-based games address issues like cheating? So maybe I'll add to the question just from to you, Jeff. But how do you feel about, like, using like zero knowledge proofs with like game computation, so that at least you always know that whatever's happening on the other end is like according to the game rules or whatever else. That's how I at least would take the question. But obviously, you have other experiences.
Yeah, like any kind of double checking is an amazing approach. It's difficult though, because blockchain in itself can get gamed, so it doesn't inherently. It makes it so that people can't steal your resources. Like, they have to hack a blockchain to take your tokens. They can't just find a little loophole in something as easily and move stuff in the database. But as for actually stopping, I guess it depends on what kind of game cheating. Like, if it's something gameplay wise, having some kind of proof of check that they did that could be one way. It's a good question. It kind of would be easier on a more like case-by-case thing to find a solution for. Like, if, okay, people are hacking it this way, then can find a way to put protection in there. But as a way just to stop cheating, I don't know. I would like to.
Thanks. So that was Will's question. Kwame had an extension to their question. It is, based on my experience with blockchain games, can I conclude, I find that to be interesting. I'll comment on that in a second. Can I conclude that blockchain games are expensive? So first, I'll comment as a researcher. Have you done enough research to fully conclude anything yet? So that was kind of my question. So I named two very, very large games, probably some of the largest games in the ecosystem. So then my quick answer would be, if it's purely as a researcher, based on your experience with blockchain games, and you have not yet experienced some of the largest games in Web3, I would say start with that first, and then come back and make a conclusion. But I'll also let Jeff answer.
I don't think all games are expensive. There's a lot of blockchain games that they're free to start playing, and then you can start earning tokens that you can use to continue playing, and then you can take those tokens and sell them. So I don't see that as expensive at all. More the opposite. Like, there can be some that are expensive, and it also depends, like, if you're running a game on Ethereum or using BTC as backing, where you're paying $5 every time you're doing a transaction to record it on chain, it can be incredibly expensive. But when you're writing a note on a ledger and it's costing 1/1000th of a penny, and if you were to put it on a database, you'd be getting a monthly bill for that forever. I don't see it as expensive, personally. Like, there is cost to running it, but like with Near, it's very minimal. Like, if you put 5 Near on a contract, you're good for a while, which you'd be paying more than that for a server for storing it for a couple months. So it's yeah, like, there are games that are expensive, and it's like NFTs. There's going to be NFTs that are incredibly expensive, and then there's some that are a fraction of a penny. It's just kind of whoever put it together what kind of rules and economy they want to build it with.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely variable on the player side. I did like how Kwame tried to clarify that he meant, he's also asking about like to develop, to play. And I'd say it goes both ways. Again, I think Jeff kind of explained that a lot of times game developers will come into the ecosystem or into Near without fully understanding yet how to build on blockchain-based ecosystem games, I guess. And that might come with like cost in terms of time of education and learning. But I think Jeff already kind of answered as well, is once they get that aha moment, and I think I've experienced this as well, it almost gets a bit easier to keep building out these features of games, or like thinking of long-term roadmaps for your game. Instead of having to like have very quick feature cycles constantly for hype cycles, you can kind of grow a loyal player base. So.
Yeah, and once someone knows kind of coding for blockchain, like once they're good at it, if they need, they can do a smart contract in a day. Like the cost of it is developer. So it's like if someone's doing it themselves, the cost is whatever they feel they're worth, but that'll be the same no matter what they're working on. And hiring someone, if you're either side, like a game developer or not, to hire a developer is gonna cost. And then the hosting, if you deploy on Boss or Web4, it's a one-time deployment, and then you have a site that's just up. You're not paying hosting all the time. You're not paying servers. You're not paying storage. You just deploy it, and then you can update the code whenever you need. But
which is so cool, because the game funds can be used to pay to upgrade the code. So cool, and it can be owned by the DAO. Definitely plans for the modern day gaming, but yeah, I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Telegram too. I'll drop the link for that here in the chat. I was testing out putting the boss stuff on Telegram for modern day gaming.
For some other games, let me pull something up here so I try not to forget. So Zomland is one that's been doing quite well lately. I can't find the list. I'm not going to sit here looking through it. Done Protocol Pawns, Cosmos Zeta, Pumpopoly. They're doing an airdrop campaign right now, and then get some free land on there. That one's kind of cool. It's sort of like a Monopoly, but you can earn money while playing. And then working with Pipe Flare to bring some games over here. Let me see. I'm going to actually look for a link because I'm forgetting a lot of people and I feel really bad. Okay. But yeah, there's the gaming DAO we just started in December. So there's kind of a few games that have actually gotten to launch. Most of them are in progress and building. Some of the ones for this month, there's Bloxy Royal. We've been supporting them for a couple months now. They've got a really cool fun little run around shooting each other multiplayer game. Spear on Near, Marvin J, Boneyard Gaming, and then Dragonverse, Unifat. I always felt bad saying it. That's kind of why I had to take it. So yeah, Unifat. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I'll post the link for the gaming community on near forum as well. And then there's a lot more information on the different projects and everything from inception till now there. Yeah. So
Perfect. Thank you very much. So yeah, and that was just going over the successful games. So if anyone else has any more questions, please feel free to ask. I'm assuming that's the end of your presentation, Jeff, or do you have more?
I could ramble longer, but yeah, no, that's about it.
Sounds good. No, I'll take the last few minutes to kind of share my screen again and hopefully get through the homework. But thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing all the information with us. It's much appreciated. Yeah, I think it was helpful. I think some questions definitely had, some students had some questions, and I think the answers to those were definitely helpful in my opinion as well. And thank you for answering mine also. So I am going to, you're very welcome. You're welcome anytime in the call. So, okay, so here Wallet, RPC seems to be a bit better. Here Wallet's loading. I sent over 0.5 near into the new account. Ooh, less fun. I thought I sent over, but maybe here Wallet wasn't working like I thought. Actually, it's still saying 100% transferring and did not transfer. That's actually quite funny in my opinion. Let's see if this is working. Any better? Here I was thinking that it transferred 30 minutes ago. Still having issues on both wallets, which is, I did pull up a different browser to see if it works here. So, okay, yeah, so I'm getting more issues here that I wasn't getting previously. So how about this? Nedlar, BGem, are either of you, we tested this out yesterday and it was working fine. So are either of you able to log into the games currently?
Yes, I was able to log into it, and I use my new.
So it's just me from my location that seems to be, none of my wallet, like everything seems to be not connecting. Are you on a laptop or a device you can share on right now, Nedlar or BGem, if it's working at your location? Oh, maybe. Here we go. Near is down like 3.5%, and so the DeFi traders be trading. So, this is why it's always good to have your own RPC node, ladies and gentlemen. But no. Or just know how to use the CLI and then pick a different RPC. So I think it will work. It'll just be quite slow at this point. But yeah, even this did work, just very slow. I did want to go through the actual login flow, so I did want to at least go through it once for students actually on the call. So if this is what's working, then I will just sorry about that. Still try to do the redirect instead of just going to the home screen. At times. Okay. Log out. What I'm trying to do. Even though it just wants to log me in. So this is the double signing. This is what I wanted to show, but for some reason the game only wants me to log in, not log out. And it does seem like things are going quite slow at the moment. So hopefully when students here try, it'll be much quicker. Yeah. So Clara saying that everything yesterday was super slow. It does happen when the price of Near changes quite quickly. All the arbitrage bots and such must get their transactions in, and Near doesn't have transaction ordering like skipping to validators or anything like that. So you kind of have to just arguably wait or find a yeah. So let's just okay, so it is working. It's just working very slowly. So the transaction, I think, just like okay, wild. So we can't wait for that's going to be. What I wanted to show was transferring the loot boxes. So every student here is going to be getting a loot box from the course, or the course, I suppose, or from the DAO, from the Marmaja Gaming. So we do have a class list. Everyone's Near accounts are listed here. Hopefully it copies nicely. Usually, just to show you all how I use AI on a daily basis. Sorry, pages having issues. But here you go. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But as you can see, I have my thread now to where all I have to do is copy and paste a bunch of Near accounts, and it'll just generate the bash script for generating epic loot boxes. And it just to community call participants. It gives me the script. It generates it in a code box, and then it gives me. I talked about it a lot, so it keeps giving me like, move it. Make sure you have enough, permissions and gas, and please move this function to the DAO for transparency reasons. And that is a goal, to move this function over to the gaming DAO. But currently, we can sign this right here. So I can go to my terminal. I can drop this in, and I should have sent one. I'll send one more to the account I'm testing with as well. Ugh. We're having only we could get, okay. Well, I'm not going to log out anymore because. Oh, hey Jeff, are you have to drop off?
No, I was just going to say, with the Mint base AI, you might be able to do all that directly within it, including sending the transaction, skipping the terminal.
True. Then I guess I'd have to log in. Oh, yeah, I guess I'd log in to that while in the Mint base. That'd be fun.
So the ai.mintbase.xyz, and then just chalk to the chatbot there and log in.
I've used it in beta. I don't think I've ever used it on its own app. But anyways, I'll go to that in a bit. So ncr-test.near. Oh yeah, so it is going insanely slow. So that'll take a while. Wow. Near is going slow. But I can open up the loot box I do have, and it's not having a lot of issues actually. Oh, this account doesn't have a loot box. Ugh. And we will now. Oh, but yeah, I have to log in with the Pixel Token account, so I'll have to do it after. Let's ncr test. I wonder if this will work. Or if it'll say, time out. Wahaha. Gonna put more logging so I can see. And it might be faster just to send this. No, I can't send things. Oh, it's probably in. I didn't think Nier did it in order. Anyways, you need to have an item to actually. You can enter a dungeon. So the first step you'll do is unlock your characters, which I can't show on this account. This is what worked today, so we're going to stay here. So the first step would be unlocking each of your characters. Each character has an inventory. Actually, I will just take things off. I tested on this account yesterday. So you can put items for sale, remove items for sale. So when you guys get a loot box, for example, you'll get an item like this. You'll be able to equip the item onto your character, and then you probably get at least 1 or 2 items to be able to actually beat a dungeon. But either way, now you'll be able to enter a dungeon. So it kind of gives you an idea. You should have minimum level of 1, but some good common gear. Either way, you'll have 2 pieces of epic gear from opening the loot box. So some of you already have the loot box. You can already go to the game and start playing. Okay, so if I refresh the page now, I should have a loot box as well. And so all that login stuff we had before won't happen anymore. The game should just load after a nice little loading circle. Well, still taking longer than usual. Yeah, about half the students so far. I used to play with an alt account. Awesome. Well, hopefully Nier gets starts loading a bit faster so you can start playing again. This is unreasonable. So hopefully the Unity SDK will help, but honestly, a large change that we're hoping to make with Marmaget Gaming is to actually move the user interface off of Unity completely and just move it to the boss. So maybe there'll be iframes used for visual elements to keep like the fun visual gameplay. But all the fight code here is off-chain. Ooh, level 50. You were doing great. Okay. That's interesting.
There is a goal with for us to make a sort of a gaming gateway, so that to have kind of like Boss but for games, so it has Unity, Unreal SDKs, and different kind of
okay.
new ones. So
that would be fun.
Deploy.
Where's my loot box? Okay, so everything here is going a bit slow. I'm not going to try and wait, but you guys will have a loot box. I'll try and send a picture into the chat later of what I went through. But anyways, you'll get an item from the loot box. You'll be able to enter the dungeon, like Claudia was saying. Eventually, you can get to level 50, level 60. For the Hell dungeon, I've never actually beaten it. You need level 70 and legendary gear. It takes quite a while. But when you enter the dungeon, apparently level 1 and only a staff is not good enough to beat this dungeon. But I'll slow it down so you can see what's happening. So this is all off-chain, right? The fight result has already happened, arguably, right? So a transaction was sent to the Nier blockchain. It generated the random result of the fight based on the enemies, based on the gear, the stats, and it already output the result. This is just a generation of like playing it out for the user interface. So hopefully that's clear. I have my NFT on. I can buy some tokens off of the market. So actually, by going here, we will see what the actual our PC is looking like a bit more. Sorry, it's kind of funny. But anyways, you can see there's some life steal, there's some critical hits you can have. I'll go speed it up a little bit so you can see, and then we'll make it to the boss, and then sadly we get defeated. Okay. But this result was already recorded, so we just finished the fight, and we can go to nearblocks.io, and we can, okay. Let me see our test.near. And we can see, okay, well, it didn't even, ugh. Within the contract, so it'd be, I think, CH save fight results. Oh Lord. Okay. So that's how you play one round of the game. I said you can go to the market. Let's say you want to search by the strongest items, and it'll show you the strongest items in the game. So for example, the strongest item currently is this mage top for 500 pixel tokens. And so you can see, okay, for one near, you get around 3,000 pixel tokens, and 500 PXT is around 0.162 near. So everyone in the class should be able to, with, you know, rewards they've received by being a student, should be able to complete the homework. I mean, you definitely do not need to be purchasing any PXT for the homework assignment. Everyone has a loot box, but for the homework assignment, the idea is to, again, let me open it up. Unlock your character, which I didn't get to show a step of. Sorry about that. Equip some gear, which I did show. Enter the dungeon. Pretty straightforward. Take a screenshot of your gameplay experience. So, and then share a link in the NCR homework thread after you've posted on Boss. So Near Social wasn't working for me earlier, it's working now. I think this character was, oh, I have a ring on this guy. Perfect. So again, you could put the ring on, enter the dungeon. I definitely will not be able to beat this dungeon with just the ring, but this loading time here is sending the transaction to Near. So before the game actually loads, the fight result has already been recorded. And okay, well, it's saying no transactions. That is incorrect, obviously. There we go. So, let's see what we have on here. CH registered player. So we have a new player. Ah, look at that. We have a new student joining the class. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you have a loot box in there already. And you could, well, this is, so, and if you have this error, it's because it took too long to send the transaction. If I refresh the page, the fight will probably already be done with the character. But yeah. Oh no, it didn't actually go through that time. So interesting. Okay, let's see. Oh, there is potions as well. So again, the idea is you can use the DeFi element to use the tokens in the game to be able to purchase potions to make your hero strong, your character stronger. But hopefully, or maybe we're just, oh, there we go. So again, I definitely will not do enough damage this time, right? But you can speed it up all the way, you know, and you can see what the fight would be. But with PXT manager, there you go. To reload, this one's also, here you go. So here we have CH save dungeon results. We have a student already unlocking their characters. Great to see. Homework being done in real time. Awesome. So there's some internal workings in the game. It does get a bit confusing, but we can see that, for example, NCR-test, and make it a bit bigger. called the function save dungeon result. And the reason the different contract is helping this from PXT Manager is because, again, some things are happening off chain, there's some back-end logic happening, but after it's done, the result needs to be saved on the blockchain. So you can see the class type was 3, so I don't know why I didn't start at 0, but 1, 2, 3. 3 is for the ranger that we used over here on this side. Experience gain was 10 because we lost. Yeah, it is gonna look a bit weird. So the first, we'll try and show it again. Actually, why not? I'll show it again right now. It seems like it's going maybe a tiny bit faster. Oh, that's very weird. It shouldn't be doing that. I think, anyways, there's constantly fixes trying to happen, and so let me see if I can come back here and show what a new account would look like. Again, I just want to make sure we are being extremely clear. It is a bit finicky. So, okay, log out. Why does it want to go straight to, okay, here we go. This should be a full log out, one would hope. Okay, perfect. We are logged out, Meteor Wallet. This is the account that I tried sending tokens to, and we will try again. Look at this, doing everything live on the cloud. Okay, 5, NCR.
Hello, Chloe. Hello, Chloe.
Yes, ask away,
Wait,
Nedla.
yeah, I think when you use the Matthew wallet to log into the game, it won't go through unless you use the near wallet, my near wallet instead.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go through it now. Again, I'm trying to send tokens over, and my near wallet currently is looking at me, acting funny, and not loading the account. So hopefully I'll be able to send it
All right.
in a second, and I should be able to show it. But this is actually quite interesting. Okay, maybe it has sent now. Okay, perfect. It did send. It only took 20 minutes, but it did send from here wallet. Okay. So again, it says we're logged in. Clearly, it's not working. Make my lovely refresh. Okay, so pop-up was blocked. Allow pop-ups. There's the Meteor Wallet pop-up. It says this weird stuff, right? That's weird. Shouldn't be saying that. Previously, I've let it do this for a very, very, very long time. And I'm pretty sure it's ended up working. I can't remember 100% because I touched this thing and the code is changing relatively often. But I am going to try just refreshing. Oh, I think it was about to load. But anyways, So, okay, I think it was about to log in. So it seems as though Meteor Wallet, yeah, so that is the double approve. So I know this is like the weirdest login flow ever. But because Meteor Wallet doesn't actually have a full redirect back to the app, it just works a bit differently. So Meteor Wallet has to kind of force, yeah, obviously it needs to be fixed in the back end, but as people have said, with my Meteor Wallet, it works a bit simpler because as a user, you manually click each redirect screen. With Meteor Wallet, you're kind of just waiting for the application. I generally always just refresh the screen again after waiting a bit. And that seems to work for me. but we'll see if this is kind of why I wanted to go through it on call. Because Meteor Wallet is very quick and easy to make new accounts. There you go. So I know that was very weird, but it's the same redirect flow. It's just because Meteor Wallet doesn't have a full web page to bring you to, you have to use the same web page and just refresh it after you think the transaction's gone through. So because Near is going very slow right now, instead of taking like the usual 3 seconds and coming back instantly, it might take 10, 15, 20 seconds. I mean, it could take minutes or just not work if Near is going that slow. So that's just potential issues. But again, first part of the homework would be to unlock. This does not redirect back to the wallet. You've already signed the gas key. So now all you have to do is unlock your characters. I still don't know why there is no loot box. NCR week 9. I don't know why there's no loot box. I didn't send one here, but hopefully everyone else got one. Anyways. I think use a better terminal where I can do things a bit easier. Has anyone here checked their account yet and seen the loot box? With how slow Near was going, I do not believe my script had proper error handling for managing those transfers. But NCR week 9. Okay, so once you have the characters, you should then be able to open your loot box, equip your character, and enter the dungeon. We should have a loot box now. That is the hope. And it should not, yeah, there you go. That is the, okay, so I think I've been on this call for over 30 minutes trying to show that very simple login flow with a loot box. But anyways, once you get past the first login, it is very easy to come back into the game after that. It's just the login flow is quite cumbersome. So you're gonna pick 2 items from the loot box. It's probably good to try and get 2 things for the same class, if I can. Okay, cool. I'll do the helmet. I'll do the robes. And I will equip. Look all pretty. We'll into the dungeon. Easy. Let's see how far we get. I'll slow it down so that I can kind of see what's happening a little bit. Maybe speed it up a tiny bit. We've been here for a while. Seems like I have enough HP and health to survive. Maybe I'll speed it up till I get to the boss. Okay. Oh, sorry, not there yet. One more. There we go. And then I'll do my little print screen. Oops. Woohoo, I did it. Okay. Might beat it. I should beat it, I think. Yeah, look at that. All that life steal. All that armor. HP. I did it. Round of applause for me. Ooh, Clara got their loot box as well. Awesome. So I got a common mage weapon. I'm gonna loot that. Okay. Now I can go to the market. I could take my little item here. I could sell it for one pixel token. Again, doesn't need to go to the wallet to sell, which is a bit interesting. But this is because it's not an actual NFT according to the standard. Transferring NFTs from your account to a marketplace according to the standard requires a redirection to the wallet because of the 1 Yocto security fee attached. Maybe this will ask me for a redirect. Anyways, that's not part of the homework. We're going to end it there. So hopefully everyone is now able to, so the last part is honestly just taking that screenshot. I won. Right. Post it, and then share it in the homework thread. So if anyone has any questions, sorry that took so long. I did want to make sure you got through it though. I'm sure some students here might have similar issues. price of Near might change by another 2% sometime today or sometime this week. And so, you can stick with it. Generally, there is an awkward redirect flow, but once you're logged in, any errors you have, you can just refresh the page. It should refresh pretty quickly. So even here, again, this is because it's taking too long for the transaction to actually go register on the blockchain. No big deal. Just refresh the page. It should load pretty quickly. And you can just try whatever task again. Again, should being the key word there. Sometimes it does seem to rely on loading, I guess, things on chain, so it does take quite a while. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming on the call. Feel free to stop by Friday for the Insights Forum if you have any questions, comments. Very interesting. Sometimes it loads in seconds, and sometimes it doesn't load at all. But yeah, Near is congested, so it might take a couple refreshes or whatever else. But hope you all have a great rest of your day, and talk to you all very soon. Okay, thanks again, Jeff. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great week.
Great one, everyone.